Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update. Additionally, consider subscribing to my Patreon to get access to these features, and much more. Anton Burgess scrutinized the ornate gold ring in his hand. Its intricate design featured an Ouroboros, a serpent devouring its own tail, encircling a simple pair of scales. The serpent's eyes were a dark opal and a bright diamond, each sparkling with an almost lifelike intensity, giving the impression that the ring was waiting for a command. Shaking off the spell of the glittering gems, Anton refocused on the scruffy, androgynous figure who had presented the ring to him. The individual, who seemed neither particularly male nor female, waited with a detached air as Anton examined the artifact. "What did you say your name was?" Anton asked, eyeing the peculiar stranger. "I didn't," came the response in a throaty voice, accompanied by a sly grin. "But you can call me Harmony if you need a name." "Harmony," Anton repeated, considering how the name matched the unusual being. "All right, Harmony. What do you expect to gain from this ring, and why approach me on the street instead of my shop?" Harmony glanced disdainfully at the back door of Anton's antiques and collectibles. "I don't feel comfortable in places like that, sir. Too many old things longing for a past that can never return. Also," Harmony added, "the ring comes with a caveat that should be discussed privately. I assure you, I haven't stolen it or acquired it unlawfully. My offer is legitimate and legal." "Oh, I'm sure it is," Anton replied dryly. "That's why we're meeting in a back alley rather than in my shop. Make your pitch, tell me the caveat, and I'll decide whether to accept or decline." Harmony's face lit up with genuine amusement. "As you wish, Anton Burgess. This ring, called the Serpent's Bargain, grants the owner 2 wishes. Guaranteed." Anton frowned, moving to return the ring. Harmony's laughter, rich and warm, stopped him. "Did I say something funny?" "No, forgive me," Harmony said, dabbing his eyes with one delicate hand and dismissing the ring. "Keep it, Mr. Burgess. I'm giving it to you with no strings attached, no blood contracts, no nonsense. It's yours until you've used it, then you must pass it on." "Why?" Anton asked, growing wary. The antiques world was highly competitive, and Anton had thrived at its top for years. "Why give away something so valuable?" "Because the entities I represent want to establish a presence in this market," Harmony chuckled, sensing Anton's skepticism. "Consider it a promotional offer. I assure you, future items from us will be far from cheap, and none will be free. Try it out, pass it along, and let me know your thoughts once you've made your wishes." Harmony handed Anton a small, elegantly engraved business card and smiled. "I'm just a sales rep offering a free sample. That's all this ring is." Something about the ring was both alluring and unsettling, making Anton scrutinize it again. The opal eye seemed to blink at him, almost as if it had winked. He accepted the business card without examining it closely, deciding he had nothing to lose. If the ring truly granted wishes, it was a win. If not, its craftsmanship and age would fetch a handsome price. "All right, Harmony, I'll take it." "Excellent." Harmony's smile grew wider, revealing pointed teeth. "However, there's one more thing you should know before using the wishes." "Ah, the caveat," Anton said with a smile, dismissing the concern. "Feel free to bring your wares to me anytime, Harmony." "I will, and thank you," Harmony replied, then continued, "but my contract requires me to inform you that the 2 entities granting the wishes each have their own criteria. One side represents good light order, and the other represents evil dark chaos. You won't know which side will grant which wish, and neither will they until the process begins. Also, neither wish will be granted until both have been made," Harmony added with another unsettling grin. "This ensures that neither side can interfere with the other's outcome. Do you understand?" "Sure," Anton nodded, not fully believing the pitch but eager to acquire the ring. Angels on one side, demons on the other, both ready to grant a wish. "Is that about right?" "Simplistic but accurate enough for now," Harmony agreed, then started down the alley at a brisk pace, calling over his shoulder, "Enjoy your wishes, Anton Burgess. I have other potential customers to visit." Anton absently rubbed the unusual ring on his right hand's third finger while arranging a new display to entice his wealthy clientele to part with more of their money. He never marked prices on his merchandise, operating on the belief that if someone had to ask the cost, they shouldn't be in his shop. Depending on the client's gullibility, he often set prices sky high. With a mix of flattery, genteel humor, and a touch of deception, his clients had never complained about the inflated prices for items that, while valuable, often weren't worth as much as he charged. This approach had made him quite wealthy, and he had no illusions about his role. He saw himself as a cunning opportunist, thriving off the affluent and feeling no remorse. He had eliminated competitors, stolen unsellable items, and transformed his business from a modest curio shop into a high-end establishment. As he arranged an antique silk gown, Anton idly wished for a staff member to model it, forgetting about the peculiar ring given to him by the enigmatic Harmony. The mild tingling from the ring, which he dismissed as a sign of arthritis, was interrupted by the buzzing of his cell phone. "Anton Burgess," he answered. "How can I help you?" "Mr. Burgess," came the voice of his new accountant, Maureen Riley. "I'm sorry to disturb you, but the home's fund needs replenishing." "I see," Anton said, tugging at his graying shoulder-length hair. "How much is needed to cover the shortfall?" "The halfway house operations budget lost state funding and needs $150,000 to continue until alternative funding is secured." "Deposit the amount into that account, Maureen," Anton instructed, "with the condition that I want a full accounting for every penny spent until further funding is found." "Very well, sir," Maureen responded. "Should I include the standard paperwork for loan repayment?" "No, Maureen, I don't require that," Anton sighed. Convincing an accountant to accept that he didn't want the money back was always a challenge, and he was glad this was only his second time dealing with it. "Just deposit the funds as specified and write it off." "Understood." "One more thing," Anton said as a new thought struck him. "Please send another $50,000 to the orphanage school at St. Gladys by the end of the day. They need repairs on their roof. Make the donation anonymous." "Will do, boss," Maureen replied, her frustration and confusion evident in her voice at his seemingly reckless generosity. "Thank you, Maureen," Anton said, closing the call with amusement and returning to inspect his latest acquisition. Anton had grown up on the streets, supported only by underfunded organizations, and had vowed that once he achieved financial success, he would help others avoid the hardships he faced. Unlike many who make similar promises and fail to keep them, Anton had remained true to his commitment. He lived comfortably on a modest portion of his substantial fortune, donating the rest to various trusts and grant funds, and making anonymous donations that surpassed most annual household incomes. He did all this without seeking any recognition, content with knowing that he had stayed true to his purpose. The gown, a rich ruby red silk from the Regency period, clung to the mannequin like a second skin. Its true value, however, lay in its storied past. Legend had it that the gown belonged to a powerful, often malevolent witch who alternately terrorized and aided the peasants around her estate. Countess Isabelle de Larc was rumored to have connections to the infernal beyond mere magical bargains. Whispers among the locals suggested that her father was a demon summoned by her mother, the previous countess, to secure a child and prevent her husband from replacing her with a more fertile and docile bride. Regardless of the veracity of these tales, Isabelle was a real, widely feared, and admired figure in her region of France. She was reputed to be stunningly beautiful, using her looks as shamelessly as any other tool in her dealings with others. Anton carefully placed the plaque detailing the gown's history and authenticity beside the exquisite garment and stepped back to admire his display with satisfaction. "I almost feel as if I knew you, lady," he murmured softly, ensuring his employees wouldn't overhear him talking to a dress. "Kindred spirits, you and I think. I wish you a long, peaceful rest and a chance at redemption." As Anton spoke, two separate forces of time and space activated in response to his wish. Reality swirled and shifted slightly as these granted wishes intersected in the inconspicuous shop of a 21st-century city. Lines of power converged within Anton, initiating a profound transformation as reality reasserted its usual order. Anton gasped as his right hand's ring finger first tingled, then felt as though it were electrified, and finally burned as if immersed in hellfire. The intense sensation spread from his hand, up his arm, and soon enveloped his entire body in an oddly euphoric agony. What followed was a metamorphosis that went beyond physical changes. Redemption for a troubled soul? Perhaps. The possibility of such a boon was granted. His bones felt like they melted in the ethereal flames consuming him, only to reforge into something both familiar and unfamiliar. Muscle, tendon, ligaments, and flesh reconfigured in response to his single wish. Amidst the transformative fire, an indistinct figure approached through the flames, seemingly unaffected by the inferno. She paused in its center, observing Anton with a mix of awe and tenderness. "You have taken my shape and my name, mortal," she said with a voice full of melancholy. "But I cannot be angry with you. My powers and the knowledge to use them are yours. Use them wisely, lady. My deepest thanks for the freedom and peace your wish has granted me." With a playful giggle, the stunning redhead revealed two small horns above her forehead. "Consider these a reminder of where you might end up if you misuse my gifts. Farewell, my benefactress." Before Anton could respond, she vanished, taking with her the pain, strange sensations, and flames that had consumed her moments before. Isabel Antoinette Burgess smoothed her scarlet skirts and admired her reflection in the ornate, if slightly cursed mirror in the corner of her shop. Anton, now inhabiting the elegant form of Isabel, groaned inwardly at the consequences of his unintended wishes. As Isabel, he faced the task of addressing wrongs that were none of his concern but now were his responsibility. The alternative was an unpleasant descent in the long elevator ride to the basement, a fate Isabel Burgess knew well enough from her former self's memories to avoid at all costs. Adjusting to being female seemed a minor issue compared to that prospect. As the proprietress of Isabel's curiosities and antiques, she leaned forward slightly, offering the young man a better view of her assets. With a flick of her long, lustrous red hair, she revealed her delicate, doll-like features and placed the ring into his hand, gently closing his fingers around it. "Really," she said with a radiant smile, "I'm giving this to you, Charlie, without any strings or malice. It will grant you two wishes, but first, I need to explain how it works."